Hello, people of the world that are watching internet videos pertaining to cars. Welcome to this, my 1974 RA21 Toyota Celica ST, powered by none other than a Toyota 2UZ VVTi V8 out of my dad's old Toyota Tundra. If you missed out on the previous video, I was in the process of finishing up the last remaining little things before I can drive this car. With everything marked in a red star needed to start it, and everything with a red dot needed to drive it. And the other items just needed to complete the project. So if you notice down along the frame rail right here, you can see the heat shield by the header. The fuel lines going from the pressure regulator and the return go down the firewall right here. You may recall a couple of videos ago, I did fabricate some custom heat shields to protect those fuel lines from radiant heat coming off of the headers. What? Why do you do this? Why? Anyway, this material, which looks like a tube sock that you'll want to remove your feet after wearing instead of the sock, is titanium heat wrap. So all I need to do is protect the fuel line from where my heat shield stops up to where it connects to the pressure regulator. Little excessive, I probably don't need to do this, but it doesn't hurt. So now I can mark it. This stuff is itchy. Oh, this stuff likes to fray. Is that gonna shrink down enough? I feel like I'm definitely doing a smooth brain activity. Now, slide this over. Make sure these are routed so they don't touch one another or chafe on anything. There. Fuel lines are protected from heat all the way down to the heat shield. Fuel line heat sleeve, complete. How do I do this? Peel that out of there. This over this. I'm not like a huge fan of this, but I also don't hate it. It's really hard to find something that will work for this though. Custom gasket I made since the old ones are all crumbly and dried up. I gotta like try to pull the, there we go. I'll hold my gasket up, like tighten this. I know this has nothing to do with making the car run and drive, but it'll only take a second and it's worth it. I'm a little bit obsessed of this waffle texture on the lens and the way it casts the light off of it. Just so 70s. Oh, that's what that's for. That holds the gasket in place. Honestly, this rubber trim I think will work a lot better than the foam that was back there from the factory. I think that works. There, much better. For the coolant overflow hose, I have two options, silicone or rubber, both 5/16 8 mil rubber. This stuff's slightly smaller, it's a 1/4 inch or 6.5 mil. Go along the same route as the fuel line. Give this thing some abrasion protection. That is good and protected now. We'll route it along the front of the fuel rail. And another one. This is an IAT sensor, and it goes in my intake pipe right about here. This is gonna require an A&N temp sensor and a signal ground for it to function. So I just gotta steal one locally right here. You know what? I bet you I have some correct color wire. Well, this is solid yellow. This'll work. I don't have a brown Sharpie, so there. I just pressed really lightly. That might look brown. There you go. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Trying to squeeze the tape underneath there. And another one. I know someone out there lost their marbles in the last video when I quadrupled the list of items I had, but as you can see, it's going quickly. I'd rather add stuff to the list than miss it all together and have stuff break. Welcome to the following day. I have to connect my heater core hoses up under the dash here. This is not gonna be easy. In fact, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do this, to be honest with you. I know you probably can't see this. I'm so sorry. This is really hard to do. Since you can't see anything I'm doing under there, I gotta trim the hose right about here. I tried to file these things down since they're all chewed up. Hey, it actually cuts better now. And then a little part number label I printed up in case I need to reorder this. A little protective sleeve. Fire! Fire! I don't even know how I'm gonna get these clamps on. Ouch. I can probably put the sleeve, the pipe in the back. I should probably trim this a little bit more. I'm gonna try spraying a little bit of this quick detailer on there. Okay. I found this hose clamp and then immediately lost the thought that was in my head to complete that sentence. So just know that I found a hose clamp. I think that'll work. Radiator core connected. Success. Heater core inside hoses. Done. This morning I put a new adapter for my gauge sender for the temp sensor. So that's now done. In theory, this is a much simpler solution. That'll do. No need to fabricate a bracket when I literally have a mounting point right here on the firewall. There. Mounted. Coolant sender adapter. Map bracket. Now for these snoodles. These are dusty. I gotta clean these before I can stick them on. You know how you know that my detailing products are actually good and I use them? It's literally almost empty again and I just filled this thing. I use it on the cards I review every once in a while. I'm amazed that these things aren't all dry rotted. Jeez, these things are cleaning up amazing. They're like brand new again. Granted, they did spend their life under a dashboard. I can't believe that for something that's 50 years old. Where did these things even go? Funnel. Well, all right. Found a funnel. I really hope I don't have any leaks in my cooling system because this is the first time I've really tested it, I guess you could say. All right, do I got any leaks? See nothing so far? All right, make sure I got no leaks at the heater core. Although, I don't think I'd have any coolant back here yet anyway. Let's dry. Yep, I'm gonna need more coolant, that's for sure. Well, it's pretty close, but I'm gonna need more. I'm gonna do this the quickest, crudest way possible. I know this wasn't on my board of things I had to do, but it counts as part of the bleeding the clutch process. So it's still something I had to do. This will have a gasket up against the firewall, so no water or anything can get inside the car and ruin the carpet. Go for the goal, contortionist Barbie. Ouch, that hurt. This is a modified clevis to fit my new brake booster. Oh, I'm gonna have to unthread the booster to get that thing on. That sucks. Well, that right there is coolant. And if you look right here, the top of my belt is wet because it's leaking right here by the thermostat housing. I don't think I put a gasket in there. I put it on because I was test fitting for coolant hoses with the radiator, and that was where I was at with that, and I never put a gas. But that's what happens. I'm at that stage of this project now. I gotta take care of some oopses. It could have been worse oops. Well, here goes to making a mess. Let's see how much I spill. Oh, not much at all. Good. This coolant off. I got lucky. The coolant level was just barely at that point, so I didn't really lose hardly anything. Yeah, I didn't have any RTV on it. I just put this on for test purposes. Ah, good thing I took this out too. There's no thermostat in there. It's the following day. Parts have arrived. Genuine Toyota thermostat and gasket. Just a standard operating temp default OEM thermostat that came in the Tundra, which is 82 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, it doesn't say. Stuff sets up really quick, so I gotta be quick with it. Next up, that rubber plug at the back of the master cylinder needs to have a hard line connecting it to the brake bias controller. A sticker that is going to be the bane of my existence. Oh, lift to remove, I'm an idiot. The key to creating correct shapes is sometimes you just need to wing it because shapes are not perfect. They are organic. That's a pretty nice shape right there. And I got that shape relatively shaped. Cut it right about here. Good. Double it. Question is, do I make the line go that side or that side? I think this side. Right around that area. Like that. Right there. I hope that's the right direction. Squish. Double it. Oh, that's pretty close. Gotta go underneath the spring. I put this rubber heat shrink chafe wrap on quite a bit of the brake lines in areas that may be prone to vibration. And in the areas that are really prone to it, I actually have steel spiral wrap around it. Scissors. Scissor me Xerxes. Yeah, fuck that. No South Park or 300 fans out there. I tried to follow the same angle as the front line just to make it look somewhat symmetrical. There we go. And that is a rear brake line routed up underneath that lip where it should be from the factory, I believe. And that's half an item. More parts. Genuine Toyota PCV valve and gasket. I found out the hard way that there's two different styles of PCV valve for these 2UZs. I ordered the wrong one at first, but now I got the right one. So this guy just fits right inside the valve cover. Man, that goes in there kind of tight. This one is silicone. I wasn't trying to use any silicone unless I had to, but I don't think the rubber will fit over it because it's just so hard. That didn't sound right. I think any of these should work. They're all going to vacuum on the manifold. Like cutting a hot dog with scissors. There's a ton of vacuum ports on this thing that I do not need to use anymore since I have a different engine management system than what this came with from the factory. And another one. Convenient that I had to take the airbox back out because I bought one of these little bumpers to add right here just in case there's any movement in the airbox. It prevents it from bunking into the side of the fender well. It's been 90 minutes. I can put this back on. Hopefully I don't make a mess. There we go. There isn't really any tech data to go off of for routing the vacuum lines since I have a 3UZ intake manifold on a 2UZ using a more modern standalone engine management system that uses a MAP sensor instead of a MAF. The first time I started this thing, it idled with no vacuum lines, so I know it'll physically start. Something like this, something like that, and then route that guy. The only place I can hook up the brake booster vacuum source is right behind the throttle body. I didn't want to use the black silicone because it doesn't look OE, but when you put this stuff over it, fixes that problem real quick. Stick the vacuum hose on the brake booster, cut it right here, get rid of that zip tie there. Yeah, that looks way, 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 way better. Aside from doing a core support brace that's gonna go around the radiator to tie these two together, and a strut tower bar, and maybe an oil catch can, I think that's it for the engine bay. Vacuum hoses, done. I did that. I'm so close, I'm so close. Now I should be able to put coolant in this thing. Please no leaks, please no leaks.
Shrouded in secrecy for years, the stealth bomber will soon be introduced to the public.
Hello and welcome to the following day. Something dawned on me last night while I was laying in bed not sleeping. I try to start this thing with my front anti-sway bar just resting against my oil pan. It's gonna vibrate and rattle like crazy. Definitely not something I wanna have happen when I go to start this. Holy shit. Masking tape was a good idea at the time, but man, am I regretting it right now. Didn't aim the camera over here so you don't have to see my pent-up frustration I'm taking out on this tape. Now that I removed that green ball of stupidity, this is a solution to my front anti-sway bar suspension geometry conundrum since I'm using A86 front suspension on this car. These spacers Charlie fabricated on his mill. This is not gonna be easy to get this up in there. Ow! That bolt fell and hit me right in my nose bone. Man, my nose really hurts now. That sucked.
In the time of editing this video a day later, I still have a red mark.
There was math involved on this one, so hopefully the shapes will align. Lube it. I hope I can adjust that so it's not as high. I think I can. This sway bar should never get any higher than this because the suspension is off the ground right now. So that should be good. So with the weight of the car now down, the sway bar is perfect. It's dead center on the oil pan. I just did something. What did I do? Oh, front sway bar adapter, complete. And this I did off camera this morning, starter relays. Interlock, I have not though. An angel food cake has arrived because it requires 2 people to bleed this clutch. But plenty of paper towels.
Close.
Open.
Close.
Open. I can probably top it off. All right, I'll go back in.
Open. That one was completely clean.
Fill, bleed, clutch, and clevis. That's all on there. Just because this thing sat for about 6 months since the last time I started it, don't want to take any chances. You can see it's a little excessive, but I like to err on the side of caution just because. I'm just kind of a pain in the ass to get it on there. Please thread. All right, start. How does this guy work? Yep, oil's going in there, I can hear it. I'm like staring directly at the oil cooler that I haven't proven if it leaks or not yet. That's smart. Shut. It's registering on the dipstick. That's good, I just add a little bit more. So, Angel Food Cake just ran to get some gasoline. I realized my gas tank is dry, and Sir Fabric Cobbler is here for the first start also. And one final important part before I start this thing, genuine Toyota part, of course. So you know how I wanted to use the original oil cap on the 18R?
Nice.
A genuine Toyota plastic cap with the old Toyota logo on there in the correct threading for a 2UZ. So it's the best of both worlds. I get the look of the original 18R oil cap that wouldn't thread on here. It nicely ties the new school Toyota 2UZ V8 with the old school logo and the old school cap. I don't know if it's gonna crank because I don't know if I got the seatbelt thing figured out. No. So yeah, I gotta figure out that stupid 1974 seatbelt interlock thing. I gotta probably jump the things in the seat because I don't have the seatbelt sensors in the seat hooked up, so I gotta bypass those. Ignition test.
I can hear all the coils clicking.
Let me check the...
I'm sniffing the tailpipe because I think it's extremely rich on startup. Oh, how many vacuum leaks were in this thing when we fired it up the first time?
All of them. So the first time I started this thing up, there was no vacuum lines connected whatsoever. And the fuel table is adjusted accordingly to that. So now that all the vacuum lines are connected and I'm trying to start this thing, it's super, super, super rich and it's not firing up.
And it's got way too much fuel in it, but it
Take
starts.
some more fuel out then? So Charlie knows enough to be dangerous with tuning.
That is the understatement of the year, but yeah.
So
I can tune a carburetor really good.
Yeah. So he's roughly correcting the fuel table on here.
Yeah, I took a bunch of fuel out of the cranking fuel table, and then it started. And now that it started, it's still running super rich, so I just took 10% globally out of the fuel table, like the whole fuel table for idle all the way to red line.
So Jimmy had to add all that fuel in there because it had a bunch of vacuum leaks, so it was really lean with the vacuum leaks.
Exactly.
Right?
It had a massive vacuum leaks, so he had to add a bunch of fuel to get it to run right. Now we got to take all that back out. I don't know how much he added, so I'm just removing like 10% at a time until the car runs kind of half-ass okay.
Working ammeter, I got a working oil pressure gauge. All the original gauges work.
This is where we need Jimmy Oaks. I'm just going to completely f*** it up, so...
Well, I can successfully say the engine does run again now after completely tearing apart the engine bay to repaint it after I got it to run the first time. But the reason why it idles like absolute crap is because when we set the base map up, I didn't have any vacuum lines connected, especially the one going to the fuel pressure regulator. That was off when we created our base map, which is wildly going to screw up the fueling tables for getting this thing to idle smoothly, and why it does not right now. But It's completely bone dry underneath the engine. Nothing leaked, which is good. And like I was saying earlier, super excited that all the factory gauges work other than the tach. I forgot to run a tach signal out. That's just one wire though. And aside from the stupid 1974 only seatbelt interlock thing preventing me from using the key to start it, I have to use a power probe. I gotta fix that, modify my oil dipstick tube, and then just top off the fluids, bleed the brakes, and torque the suspension parts, and I can drive it. Drivable with air quotes, because there's also some other things I need to button up before I take this thing on the road, like mounting the fender flares properly so they don't just blow and rip off, and adding a speedo gear in the transmission so the speedometer works, and just buttoning things up so it's roadworthy. So, but yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon with another. Bye.